Well, since I'm in government, it obviously is about our treaties and our constitutions and how tribes came to be. So it's really civics is what it is, you know. And I know it was at last session that there was a bill passed basically for civics to be taught in the public school systems. And a lot of our tribal leaders said, okay, civics for America, great, but what about civics for any country? You know, that includes the treaties, that includes you know, where tribes and tribal nations exist in our U.S. Constitution. So the law of the land, you know, when it comes to Native Americans, has always been, you know, our truth, you know, and you have to treat us as such. So that whole civics to me is very, very important in the central understandings when it comes to treaty. And again, going back to, what is it now? There were 6 more tribes that were just signed off, federally recognized here in Virginia here recently. 570 some tribes anyway. Anyway, I forgot the number. And every tribe is different. Some tribes have similar treaties struck with the United States government. Some are entirely different. But tell me one government entity, a state or a group of people in this country that has a treaty in law, in constitution with the United States government. There is none except us. So that's the civics behind, you know, this curriculum. That's a very, very important. Tribe, sovereignty, a nation within a nation, you know, able to do what, you know. So people really scratch their head when they think of tribes and, you know, but there's more to that. That relationship, that special relationship with the United States is again unlike any other in this nation. So
could I actually ask a question about that? We get this all the time, and I still don't understand it. When you think about sovereign nation and the nation-to-nation relationship that tribes have, how does that work living within, like, can you describe that a little bit about how, so you're still within the United States of America and there are laws and things that apply.
yeah.
But can you talk a little bit about that, how that relationship works? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
No.
I get that a lot.
Oh yeah, I live that every day.
Yeah.
So that relationship is very unique. It can be very complex. So when you're talking about, say, Standing Rock or Turtle Mountain has that relationship, that treaty relationship with the United States government, you know, really to do 3 things, you know, healthcare, law enforcement, social programs, education, and so forth, you know. That's really the big 3 or 4 areas that these treaties cover, right? That, in a sense, we will have a trust responsibility to somewhat take care of you in lieu of taking your land, right? Putting on this reservation, here's what we'll do in return, right? So that certainly has ebbed and flowed and over the years, and you know, since I've been paying attention to this stuff, it's always underfunded. It's always half of what should be given to our tribes under that trust responsibility, under that treaty. So now you come in with us as a state. Now you're a state citizen, right? Live in a state, live in a county. What does that mean as a state citizen? And what law do you comply with? Well, depending on where you live, right? Reservation within the boundaries, you're pretty much subject to tribal law, depending on certain things here and there. Off reservation, for like myself and Lucy, we're kind of urban Indians, right? We're subject to state law, you know, city law and so forth, just like anybody else. But we do have, you know, that federally recognized identification card, much like a state ID, that our tribe issues. So that says I am I have I am a name, a number, obviously, and I am a member of this tribe, much like I'm a member of the state of North Dakota, kind of the same thing. So, but the other thing is blood quantum, you know, which is a really unique thing that probably, I don't know how much essential understandings will cover that, and at what level, grade level. But you know, when you talk about blood quantum, that can get very complicated quickly. But again, it's a government formula, you know, in a fraction formula, you know, whether you're half or a 16th or 3/4. I mean, you know, it's very, that bugs me, you know, because, you know, government is telling you that you're only a quarter Native American, or you're only a quarter, you know, Lakota, or you're only a third, you know, Chippewa. I mean, it's like how can they determine that? Because the only other two species that determine blood quantum are dogs and horses, and us. I mean, for me, in my heart, I'm full blood. I'm full blood Lakota, and I'm a full blood Anishinaabe, Chippewa, man. That's what I believe, and I tell my kids the same thing, you know. So that's a very complicated, very political issue when it comes to blood quantum. Tribes, you know, they debate upon it. People want in, you know, but probably the biggest rule is that you can only belong to one tribe. You can only be enrolled in one tribe. And that's why I say I'm a descendant of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa. So, but again, those are things, those are issues that, you know, you can get in the weeds very quickly and have debates, have, you know, long conversations about, you know, what it means to be a tribal nation, tribal citizen, a U.S. citizen, a state citizen. You can go on and on. So voting rights, voting on the reservation, off the reservation, that's a hot topic, you know. Whether for me as a tribal member, I can vote go home and vote for my tribal chairman and so forth. Some tribes allow it, some don't. So there's a lot to it, you know. And we could sit here and talk all day about government stuff, which I'm involved with. So.